Hi, everyone. I know it's been a while since I have made a video. I can't tell whether to look at the camera or on the screen. So when I look at the screen, I'm like looking straight forward. So I don't know. But anyways, I wanted to come here today. Well, I actually had a video already recorded, but I didn't like how it turned out. So I'm making another one. And this will probably because today, the day that I'm recording this today is the 25th, around like 2:45 p.m. So this should be up by this evening today. And if not, it'll probably be up by tomorrow. But yes, I wanted to come and make a video, just kind of give like a little story time and how I received this like really crazy revelation about myself that I think can relate to a lot of you guys, whether even for people that are not part of the Christian faith. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell button next to the subscribe button. That'll let you know when I upload videos. And make sure to like and comment this video. And also follow me on all my social media links in the description box below. And let's get started. So I'm going to start off this story with an event that happened, I think about like 2 weeks ago. It feels like it was 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I want to say, because that's how long ago it feels like to me it happened. So, fellas, if you're watching this, I'm about to talk about some female stuff, so if you would like to keep on watching, it would be nice. But anyway, so my period was late. It usually is late. It's actually very common for your natural cycle to be late by at least 1 to 2 days. Is actually normal. For those that don't know, it is normal. It's okay. And mine was late for like 3, almost 4 days, and that never happened, so I was worried. But then around when it was like the 3rd day going to the 4th day of it being late, I saw some blood come, and I'm like, oh, okay, yay, my period came, yay. But then later on that day, I started getting these like really sharp pains, and it wasn't like cramps. Like, is a difference between like the cramps I get during my cycle and then these pains I was getting. Like, it was like a sharp pain. I felt like I felt like Wolverine was shredding my uterus and my kidneys. Like, it's the only way I can describe it. It felt like Wolverine, or just Edward Scissorhands was down there causing a ruckus. And so I, of course, got worried because I never experienced a pain like that ever. And I could tell that this wasn't cramps, like this was something greater. And so I went to the nearest like emergency room. I went to an urgent care, and then I told them about it. And then they asked me, of course, questions about my cycle, like if it was late or not. And I'm like, yes, it's late, and there's never been this late before and everything. So then they called the gynecologist in. The gynecologist looked at me and everything, and then had told me that it seems like I have an infection in my kidneys, and the blood that's coming is not from like my menstrual cycle starting. It's coming from my kidneys. And I'm like, oh my god, like, of course that's gonna scare me. Like, and I didn't know why that was happening because I've never really had a problem with my my kidneys, like, ever. And so they wanted me to come in. Well, the closest time they were able to like have me come in to see like gynecologist to get like further treatment done was for the next day. So for that night, they sent me home with some blood thinners, and the blood thinners like eventually like stopped the bleeding. But then of course I went to see the gynecologist for further consultation and everything. And then that night, I remember that happening, and I was supposed to go to my friend Anna Stephanie's house, along with another friend of mine, Bridget, They're probably gonna be watching this video, so I just gave y'all a shout out. Hi. um, and I was supposed to go hang out with them for like a girls' night, watch a movie, turn to a little vigil, which usually happens with those two. And then because of this, is like I was able to go, and I was feeling so overwhelmed and like upset on so many levels, and I was like, I just need someone to talk to. I need someone to pray for me, like right now. So I called Anna Stephanie, and they were in the middle of watching a movie. I don't know what movie they were watching, and I told them, I was like, I need y'all to pray for me. Like, I need prayer right now. Like, I'm feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Like, I feel like I'm about to just burst into tears. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And so they did. And I was outside when this was happening. Like, I needed fresh air. I needed to walk around outside. Like, there's just times where that happens where I just can't stay in my house. There's times where I even like just go for a walk at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's how my anxiety affects me at times. But yeah, so they prayed for me. And then Anna Stephanie was like, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't know where she was going with it, but it went somewhere, I'll tell you that. And so she was like, the first question she asked me was, well, for those that didn't watch my video from like way back, I don't remember even when that was that I put it up, that I said that I was diagnosed with cancer. I'm in remission for it now, praise the Lord. I had leukemia, and she had asked me that, how did I feel when she asked me how I felt when I was diagnosed with it, and how I felt when I was healed from it and declared to be put in remission. And I said, well, I said for both. I kind of gave the same answer for both, that I was like, I was shocked, but then not really. Shocked, but then not really, for the fact that I was diagnosed with it, because like at that time I was already going through so much. And at that time when I was diagnosed with the cancer, I was living in a shelter. It was around the time I was first put into the shelter system. I'll do another video about that. If you guys want to know my experience of being in the shelter system, let me know down below, and I'll make a story time video for that. But yeah, and so my state of mind at that time and way of thinking, and it's kind of the same now, but it's like I'm working on it now, that like I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh, here's another thing that I have to deal with. I'm diagnosed with something that could kill me. And then the answer I gave for how I felt when I was like healed of it is like, again, I was shocked that I could possibly be healed from something like leukemia, but then I was like, it was a short-lived feeling of happiness, because I was like already expecting like something else bad to happen, because that's how I've always been. And then with me telling her that, she was like, that I have that I wasn't able to like receive my blessing of being healed, because I have that way of thinking, and I've developed that from since young, because for as long as I can remember, that is like, I mean, there's obviously times where I have been happy, but I can honestly say that I can't remember like a time where I've been consecutively happy for like a week straight. Like, it'll last for a few days, me being happy, and then I would just feel sad or some other negative emotion out of nowhere, or an event or something will happen to make me feel sad. So happiness was a short-lived emotion for me, something that I never truly felt like in my heart and mind. And then when it comes to certain things that I went through, that it was like short good moment, bad event, then it will somehow resolve, another short good moment, instantly bad event, and it's like just that constant cycle of events happening in my life, to where I've developed a mentality of like, okay, I'm going through something good right now and it feels nice, but I already know something bad's gonna happen because that always happens, so I'm gonna just prepare myself for whatever hell I'm about to be put through next. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate to, for whatever it is you've been through, whether it's for a sickness or some other type of situation. And in that moment, her and Bridget had prayed for me, and they were just declaring things of like increasing my faith and things like that. And then Bridget, she was talking about how she had, I think, a moment with her mother, and that I'm trying to remember exactly what she said, but she was basically saying how she sees that my life, my story, is connected to a very well-known passage in the Bible, the woman with the issue of blood, because for as long as I can remember, I've had an issue with blood since about, well, I was born with anemia, and then with my anemia worsening, turning into leukemia, now being in remission. So I've always kind of had an issue with blood my whole life. And she was saying how that, for those that don't know the story of the woman with the issue of blood, that's in the Bible. This woman suffered with the issue of blood for 12 years. It was constant, like flowing out of her. She went to doctors and everything, got no help. And then she heard that Jesus was in town or where she lived, and she said, if only I could touch the hem of his robe, then I will be healed. And so she went into the place where Jesus was, and she literally crawled through that crowd on her hands and knees and touched the hem of her robe, and instantly when she touched it, she was healed. And I'm like just paraphrasing it and going really fast with it right now, so sorry for not taking my time. And then Jesus, he immediately stopped, was like, who touched me? And the disciples was like, no one, like there's hundreds of people touching you, like what are you talking about? It's like, no, like someone touched me and power came out of me. And then the woman like revealed herself, and then Jesus said, because of your faith you have been healed. And long story short, she was like declaring over me that it's like the faith that woman had, that I'm going to receive, and that to start like praying for it and doing like spiritual work for it and things like that, which I have been doing. So that happened. That happened last month, because it's October, so that happened last month. And now for an event that happened this month, I went to the Light the Night Walk, which is hosted by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They do it every year. I don't know how long they've been doing it, because this is my first time ever doing it. I went with my mother, my sister, her two daughters, my nieces, one of whom also had leukemia and is in remission for it. She's 8 years old. And then my brother and his boyfriend came, and some other like close friends of family came for support as well. And I originally was not going there for myself. I was just really going there for support of my niece. And then when we were at like the registration table and everything, that my mom and my sister, they were like, wait, like you were a survivor too, like you should be getting some type of recognition too, because at the Light the Night Walk, it's called Light the Night because they literally give us lanterns to hold as we walk. We walked for like about a mile or 2 miles. In like the city, it was from Pier 81 in the city, and then we walked 2 miles up and then came back to the pier. So it was like circle around 2 miles, well, 1 to 2 miles. And so the lamps that people have us hold, they came in 3 different colors. There was a like white colored one, which represented for people who survived, and are like in remission, like me and my niece. There was a red colored one that represented like for people who are in support of those who are in treatment for it and are like suffering from it at the moment. And then the third color was yellow, and that represented those who had unfortunately passed from it. And so yeah, my sister-in-law was like, oh no, you need to get recognition, stuff like that too. You need a white lantern. They also had like t-shirts that said like survivor on it. We finished with the registration and everything, and then we got there really early, so we had to wait for like I think a good hour before the event like actually started. And during that time, we were just sitting there talking, and there was some food, so we were eating. And then I was looking around at the like other people that were there and gathering in, and there was barely any white lanterns, which again, those represented those who are like in remission for it, survived it, the leukemia or lymphoma. And there was like a good majority, like there was just mainly red and yellow lanterns. But then as time came, like getting closer and closer to the event and more people coming in total there was over like 1,000 people at this event. There were so many yellow lanterns, and yellow again representing those who have like passed, as like someone like that has passed from it. And I was looking around, and I was like freaking out on the inside. I was trying not to, like especially with my nieces being there and stuff. I didn't want them to get freaked out by it too. But I kept telling my mom, my sister, there's a lot of yellow lanterns. Like there's so many yellow lanterns, and there was barely any white ones. And it dawned on me that like really in that moment, because like I knew it before, but then it's like in that moment the visual of seeing the lanterns really hit me. And then especially when they had this moment where they had everyone with a white lantern like stand in the middle, and they did this thing what they called circle of survivors. And they had us stand in the middle, so I was there with my niece. I was holding her hand. We had our like white lanterns up, and then surrounding us was everyone with red and yellow lanterns. And it was it was symbolizing like for the people with the red and yellow lanterns, that was like we're fighting this cause for you, the people that survived, and in like memory of people who didn't survive and people that are getting treatment. Like we're fighting for a cure to like fix this. And in that moment is like it was just like such a strong presence of love and like community. But then like in me, like I felt like it was like sadness, and then like I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. It was like sadness and just this overwhelming feeling of just like awe and shock at the same time. That's like, wow, like, oh my God, no, I'm not crying, no. That is like me looking at like all like because there was like so many yellow lanterns. Like I wish I had, I probably could find a video or something, or a photo or something. Oh God, I'm really crying. Tearing up. That of like all the yellow lanterns that of like again symbolizing people who have passed from it. And I was like, wow, like I could have been represented by one of those yellow lanterns. And also for my niece too. And my niece is a baby. Like God forbid she goes. Like I don't even want to think about that. But it's like God forbid I pass. Either me or my niece passed away, and then we would have had to been represented by my family, my mother, my sister, my brothers, everyone holding up a yellow lantern. And then like just in awe of that, there's like wow, there's like the fact that I'm able to be a part of a moment like that, to know that there were so many people there that didn't know me, but that they were a part of this cause, fighting it in support of people like me and my niece and the other people there who like made it and survived. But then what made me sad is like my level of faith was at such a low point to where from then and now, it was like about a week ago or so that this walk happened, and to where it's like I still have this way of thinking, this mentality, to where I'm like constantly just preparing myself for another bad thing to happen, because that's all I've been used to. That's really literally all I've been used to in my life. Where like of course I've had some good moments in my life, but like those have been completely overridden by bad moments that seem to happen over and over and over again. Whether it was bad moments personally with me, or with something with my family, or outside situations that were like kind of out of my control that affected me. Like it was just constant up until like even now. And it is a struggle every day for me to like retrain my mind, like not even just in the spiritual sense, but in the natural sense as well, which is why I am going to therapy. I have a psychotherapist, and the one thing that I appreciated that he said is that I'm not just gonna be some regular psychotherapist that has like degrees and a master's, a PhD, and give it to you in the medical sense. He said that I'm here to help you get your life back. And that's something that I'm realizing I'm on this journey now of, in the natural and the spiritual sense, as connected with my relationship with God as well. I'm getting my life back. I'm learning how to live my life like over again, because I'm 23 years old, and in my 23 years of life, my life, I don't feel like I lived it. Like I just feel like I'm just like I don't even know. And I know there's plenty of factors to it of why I feel that way, of things that happened in my life, and then also things that I've done on my fault. Like, of course, I know there's things that I've done, but I know a big chunk of it has to do with certain events and things that have happened to me. But yeah, that in this point in my life now with God, that I am just really learning about myself like all over again. It's like I'm literally like a child. Learning everything again, and learning about God all over again too, because in whatever stage of life, I feel that this will always happen, to where it's like you're constantly relearning about God. And for me, I'm like learning of like who He is and how He actually loves us as His children, and then me as a person He created with a purpose, and whatever that purpose is for my life, and what I have to do to actually fully walk in that purpose, and everything related to that. I was not expecting to get teary-eyed today, Jesus. But yes, that is my like story time / revelation type video. I don't know what to actually call it. But yes, I hope you guys received something from that. Just me just telling my story, and hopefully it resonated with you. And if any of you related to what I said, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear like your story. I think it's important for us to be like able to speak our stories, because our lives, one thing I'm like learning every day is that things that happen in our lives happen for a reason. One, to help us grow and change, and two, to help others grow and change as well. So yes, I would love to hear your stories. You can either comment it down below, or either tweet me or DM me through Instagram, or even on my Facebook page. All the links for that would be down below. I would love to hear your stories and what you guys think about this. And yes, that is all for today. And hopefully I will get this video up by tonight. And if not, it'll be up early tomorrow morning. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.